Now it happens from time to time that our thoughts in conversation give rise to something in our sleep. Don't be afraid, Cispo. Listen to me and remember what I say.
Then, Africanus, you will have to show our fatherland the light of your spirit, ability, and good sense. But at that point, I see a fork, as it were, in the pathway of destiny. For when your life has completed 8 times 7 revolutions of the sun in its wheeling course, and when those 2 numbers, which are considered perfect, each for a different reason, have, in the natural cycle, reached the sum of years allotted to you by fate, then the entire country will turn to you alone because of your prestige. The Senate, all good citizens, the Allies, the Latins, all will look to you. You will be the one man to whom the country's safety depends. In short, you will have to assume the dictatorship. Restore order in the state if you manage to elude the unholy hands of our relatives.
At this point, I was extremely apprehensive, fearing not so much death as treachery on the part of my relatives. Nevertheless, I asked whether he himself and my father Paulus were still alive, and the others whom I imagined to be dead.
Why, indeed they are, he said, and so are all who have escaped from the fetters of the body as though from prison, for that life of yours, as it was called, is really death.
Best and most revered of fathers, please tell me, since his life, as Africanus had said, why do I linger on earth? Why do I not hurry here to join you? Things are not like that, he said. There is no possible way for you to come here unless the God whose temple is this whole visible universe releases you from the bonds of the body. Human beings were born on condition that they should look after that sphere called Earth, which you see in the middle of this celestial space. A soul was given to them out of those eternal fires, which you call stars and planets. Those bodies are round and spherical and animated and divine minds. And they complete their circuits and orbits with amazing speed. That is why you, Publius, and all loyal men must keep the soul in the custody of the body. You must not depart from human life until you receive the command from him who has given you that soul. Otherwise, you will be judged to have deserted the earthly post assigned to you by God. Instead, Cispo, be like your grandfather here and me, your father. Respect justice and do your duty.
That is the way of life which leads to heaven and to the company here of those who have already completed their lives. Released from their bodies, they dwell in that place which you see, a place you have learnt from the Greeks to call the Milky Way. When I beheld the whole universe from that point, everything seemed glorious and wonderful. There were stars which we have never seen from this earth of ours, each of a size which we have never imagined to exist. The smallest star, which was furthest from heaven and nearest to earth, was shining with a light not its own. The spheres of the stars easily exceed the earth in size. Now the earth itself seemed so small to me that I felt ashamed of our empire, whose extent was no more than a dot on its surface.
Well, now how long will your thoughts remain fixed on earth? Do you not notice what lofty regions you have entered? Everything is joined together by 9 circles, or rather spheres. On one of them, the outermost is that of heaven, which surrounds all the others. It is itself the supreme divinity, holding apart and keeping in all the rest. In that sphere are fixed those stars, which revolve eternally in their courses. Below it are 7 spheres, which revolve backwards in contrary motion to that of heaven.
I gazed at all these things in amazement. Then, pulling myself together, I said, "What is this sound, so loud and yet so sweet that fills my ears?" The deepest note emanates from the lowest orbit, that of the moon. The earth, which is the 9th sphere, remains fixed and immobile in one place, filling the central position of the universe. Those 8 rotating spheres, of which 2, being on octave part, produce the same effect, give out 7 distinct sounds according to their intervals. The number is more or less the linchpin of everything. By imitating this system with strings and voices, experts have succeeded in opening up a way back to this place, as have others who, in their life on Earth, have applied their outstanding intellect to heavenly objects. Filled with this sound, people's ears have become deaf to it. Hearing, in fact, is the most easily impaired of all your senses. For instance, where the Nile comes hurtling down from the mountain peaks at a place called Catadopa, the local inhabitants have lost their sense of hearing because of the loudness of the roar. The noise of the whole universe, then, revolving as it does at an enormous speed, is so loud that human ears cannot take it, just as you cannot take looking straight at the sun, because your sight and vision become overwhelmed by its rays.
Though listening to all this with astonishment, I kept turning my eyes repeatedly back to earth. Thereupon, Africanus said, I noticed you were still gazing at the home and habitation of men. If it seems small to you, as it is indeed, make sure to keep your mind on these higher regions and to think little of the human scene down there.
When all those regions have been cut out, you can surely see how small is the area over which your glory is so eager to extend. And even those who talk about us now, how long will they continue to do so?
Even if the children of future generations should want to hand on in their turn the praises of each one of us which they have heard from their fathers, nevertheless, owing to the floods and fires which at certain times will inevitably afflict the earth, we cannot achieve, I will not say eternal, but even long-lasting glory. And what difference does it make that you should be talked about of their willing slaves
If then you abandon hope of returning to this place where great and eminent men have their full reward, of what value, pray, is your human glory, which can barely last for a tiny part of a single year? If, therefore, you wish to look higher and gaze upon this eternal home and habitation, you will not put yourself at the mercy of the masses' gossip, nor measure your long-term destiny by the rewards you get from men. But if, as you say, there is a kind of path for noble patriots, leading to the gate of heaven, then, in a view of the great reward you have set before me, I shall now press on with a much keener awareness.
Since then, it is clear that what moves by itself is eternal. Who could deny that this property is possessed by minds? Everything that is propelled by an external force is inanimate, but inanimate being is moved by its own internal power, for that is the peculiar property and function of the mind. If the mind is the one and only entity that moves itself, surely it has never been born and will never die.
Be sure to employ it in your best kinds of activity. Now, the best concerns are for the safety of one's country. When the mind has been engaged in and exercised by those concerns, it will fly more quickly to this, its dwelling place and home. And it will do so the more readily if, when still enclosed in the body, it already ventures abroad, and by contemplating what lies beyond, detaches itself as much as possible from the body. As for the sounds of those who devote themselves to bodily pleasures and become, so to speak, their willing slaves and are impelled by the lusts that serve pleasure to violate the laws of God and men, those souls, on escaping from their bodies, swirl around close to the earth itself, and they do not return to this place until they have been buffeted around for many ages.
He departed, and I woke from sleep. The end. Thank you, Professor.